wave.
Hey.
The wave.
Yeah, everybody has been mingling around here a little bit, so we're starting a little bit late in the streaming session, but we hope that's fine with you following this online.
And first of all, thank you very much for actually taking time to come here. It's such a beautiful weather outside. I would probably like to sit outside as well right now, but still, you coming here to meet with us, and we're happy for that. Today we're going to have a session where we have a couple of speakers, 4 speakers first, for half an hour. And then after that, what are we going to do, Stefan?
We're going to listen to 7 plus 2 startups within digital health technology. So it will be really both fun and inspiring and cool. And after that, you will have the opportunity to speak to these companies as well in the mingling area here at the after party.
Yeah. And for those of you who wonders who are these startups and what's the environment, you see DigitalWell Ventures here all over the place. Do you want to say a few words? What is DigitalWell Ventures, Stefan?
Sure. We are a Swedish-Norwegian accelerator working within digital health, primarily focused on the digital part of this. And we're based both in Sweden and Norway. We're working with companies from the whole Nordics and the Baltics. We're part of a big Swedish initiative called DigitalWell Arena, focusing on preventive health to finding the future solutions for the health problems that we face, both in the public sector, but also in our personal lives. So there's a lot of things to do within these sectors, and interest from both startups and investors and others are great, and there are so many opportunities. So it's very interesting, fascinating, and sometimes a little bit difficult, of course, to be in this kind of sector, but it's so rewarding to know that you're doing something that really will have an impact in the future. So happy to be part of this.
And we started the initiative 3 years ago. Soon 3 years ago, so not even 3 years, right? It's more like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And it was an initiative that started in Sweden. And we saw quite fast that we actually need more countries to level up when it comes to this. And we included Norway as well. So we started the office here in Oslo. And then last year, we also expanded with satellites in Helsinki and in Stockholm. So now we are in 3 countries, and we'll see what we're going to do about the Baltics next year as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And we're very happy with the partnership that we have with you in Xplorico here in Oslo. And we're also very happy to be here at the 17th floor of the Rebel building in Oslo here at the Katapult office. So a large thank you to Katapult as well for letting us be here. So, all right.
So shall we get started?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, are you ready?
Yeah.
So I think we'll start with an investor. And a speaker. His name is Björn Larsson. He's coming from Västerås in Sweden. Serial entrepreneur, done a couple of really good journeys. And what Björn has done is to develop something called the investment readiness process. All the startups in our accelerator has been through this process. So Björn is going to tell you a little bit about the background for that and what it constitutes. So welcome, Björn.
Yeah, big hands.
Boom, boom, boom. Can you hear me? Yes. I'm really happy to be in Norway. And thanks to DigitalWell Ventures. Oh, that's a route. Now I can say it again. I'm happy to be in Norway. And I thank Digital. This is not a good microphone. Shall I do it without the microphone?
Yeah, you can.
We can take this one for the streaming people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's try it again. I'm happy to be in where I am. Norway. DigitalWell Ventures is one of the partners with the investment readiness process, so I'm really happy to be here. I'm going to say a few words about it. David said, I've run a few companies. One of them came to the stock exchange, and when I sold my shares, I started an investment network. But before I started to invest, as an early stage small angel, I took some training from Swedish investors and American investors, and I realized, okay, there's a few things here that I want to know as an investor that I didn't know that they want to know when I was an entrepreneur. And then when we had all those companies pitching, like you will do today, it was about the product, about the team, about the market, and then in the end, they said, we want 4 million. And I felt, well, there's a few questions I have here. How much money do you need now and over time? So how many rounds do I need to be following up on? What are you going to do with my money? And how is that going to create value? When can I sell my shares potentially in this company who is not listed, which is not listed? What may be my potential return? And what are the risks compared to the return? But very few founders could answer those kind of questions. So I thought, I'll try to do something. That became the investment readiness process. It's a 5-meeting, 8-assignment standardized process with a software in the bottom and an instructor, a certified investor in readiness structure. And both these guys are certified instructors, and now 3 years later, there are 25 instructors, and half of the accelerators and incubators in Sweden are supplying this process to their companies, amongst them the Stockholm School of Economics. And it's also a Finnish, and now I'm happy also to say that Xplorico will be our distributor in Norway. There's about 200 companies who have done this process, and I know that few of them are here today. And I think that what is the biggest difference, well, okay, they can answer these questions, but I think that the biggest difference when they're doing it in a process when they get all their materials in one platform, it's that before they might have a business plan in Word, and then they made a pitch deck in PowerPoint, and then they hopefully made a financial prognosis in Excel. But how were these connected to each other? By doing this process, they need to connect everything through this entire process, and they get a total grip of their entire company and the plan. And I think that that's perhaps the biggest value. We have a few here, so maybe you can ask them. But it will be interesting for you who are investors if they can answer the questions that I hope that they can answer. So that will be my kind of referral today. I'm really happy to be here, and I give the word to the next person.
Thank you very much, Björn.
Yes, thank you, Björn. We're really happy to have this close collaboration with you. So fantastic, yeah. So ask Björn anything tonight if you're here. Next, we're not only working in the Nordics and the Baltics, we're also working in the Netherlands together with, we have a close relationship with Mark, who is here today as well from the Netherlands. And he's part of our Accelerator team, and he's a specialist in go-to-market strategies. But he's also a business angel and investor in himself, so it will be interesting to hear some of your thoughts here. So welcome, Mark Willings from Skipred.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here. First time that I'm in Oslo and it's actually sunny, which is great. Normally it's raining out here. I brought the wrong gear. Yeah, so I'm Mark Willings. I run a small company. We're only 5, and we are in the business of go-to-market strategy and execution. And why I love go-to-market is because when you have all your plans worked out, is this going okay? If you have all your plans worked out, that's where the real stuff happens. Now we need to think about how do we actually get to do this. And healthcare is a very exciting theme for me. I've been working with many healthcare companies in my assignments, so in the company that we do. I've also been training quite a lot of health startups, and I've come along with a couple of them and invested in 6 of them, of which, by the way, 4 are dead. So I have to say that happens too. And why is it exciting? First of all, because the team typically is very passionate. People really care about the problem they're working with. And we have a lot of AI companies, not always that passionate. It's a bit of a buzzword thing, but health teams always have very much focus on what they want to solve. And they typically have a history or a story behind it. So I really love that. However, health is very specific. So when I was working with the teams, I wanted to touch on a couple of things that are really specific for health, which are different than other industries. And the first thing is that it is a very content-driven market. You talk from expert to expert, from knowledgeable person to knowledgeable person, which makes it less of a sale and more of a conversation. So that's already one thing. You always talk with key opinion leaders, people that really know stuff, gurus in their field. So that's one thing that you see. Sorry about it. Another problem that you have is you never sell to one person. there's always somebody who pays, somebody who is the patient, somebody who says, hey, let's take this stuff, the doctor or the specialist, somebody who is influencing the patient, the family, but maybe also the patient federation. So many people are involved in the decision on whether or not they take your product. It's so different than other markets. Makes it nice, makes it interesting. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, and I have to put my glass on, otherwise I forget it, is localization. Because health solutions are very much regulated. In some countries it's really easy to do stuff, in other countries it's not. Sometimes it's because of law, sometimes it's because of initiatives, sometimes it's simply because of how the system is organized. And you have to always think about, hey, where does it actually sit? So when we were working on 4 things. 3 of them I want to mention here. The first is, how do we make a plan, a real business plan? And it's great that they already work with Björn's model. So now we can get to the how from there. And we're talking then about goal setting. We're talking about orchestration. We're talking about what the funnel would look like. How does our process look when we are selling something? And of course, we talk about how do we measure where we are. So that's what we did when we worked on the planning. And then also we had a lot of focus on the one thing that is so important in healthcare. Your value is only there when people start using it. So we have to really think about activation. How do we get people to use our stuff? You don't sell and then wait for it. People really have to use it. So you have to educate rather than sell. So all in all, I'm very excited to be here. It's been fun working with you guys. Definitely been fun working with the startups. I'm very much looking forward to the pitches. I have my favorites, I have to say, but they were all really good. And I'm happy to be here and love to talk to you later.
Time to put your... So it's time to put your investor hat on now, right, Mark? Okay, we're going to move on to the next speaker. He is an investor, has background from investment banking, and lately he's been operating Cyrus. And his name is Steinar Svalesen. And now he's going to give us a little reflection on how does the fundraising climate look like at the moment. And can you give us a few tips and tricks, or the startups, a few tips and tricks on how will you fundraise today? It's not very easy, is it? Welcome, Steinar.
Thank you, David. My name is Steinar Svalesen. Pleased to be here. I'm a partner with Cyrus. We're a corporate finance boutique based here in Oslo, working on Nordic growth companies, various types of transactions, M&A, fundraising, and so forth. I'm also an advisor to a new technology fund called Ancora Capital, which is currently fundraising. So I've been part of that process as well for the past 6 months. I looked into our CRM system just to answer your question. What's the fundraising, climate? And I don't have the answer. Just to do the conclusion first. But we do see some trends, and I do see that on a per deal basis, we are talking to much more people than we used to. We've spoken to more than 300 investors since New Year on 2 deals, which is a quite large number. Some of these are what I call gatekeepers, others are investors. And I think when it comes to fundraising, there's a step 1, which we've heard today. You need to be prepared, follow his process, do your homework, do everything which is internal so that you're ready to actually have the dialogue when the dialogue opportunity presents itself. But then you also need to understand the macro picture. What's the rate of new venture funds raising money? What's the investment rate by these venture funds today? Some of you could get an early sneak peek into the European Venture Report by Atomico. Take a look at that report. Venture investments are down, by 50% compared to the last 2 previous years, meaning that there's a lot less available money floating around. However, some of these funds, they raised their fund 2 years ago, so they have plenty of money. And now they get access to companies at half the price. So you need to understand that dynamic. Another dynamic which is important is to understand the overall, I would say, tech market on the stock exchanges. And a lot of these things that were done on the marketplace and the stock exchanges within the technology sector over the past 2 years are down by 50%. So what does that mean? How does that impact a startup? It means that many investors have placed their bets, and even they've taken the loss, or they're in the process of taking the loss, meaning that they're less prone to do new early stage investments and risk that capital. So you need to understand what sort of investor you're meeting. Is it a fund? Is it a family office with their own money? Is it an entrepreneur that has built companies, made their exit, and now in the process of building new companies? Is it someone that inherited a lot of money and now would like to be exposed to new sectors that, with an ESG perspective or health perspective or something? So do the homework on the investor and the investor background. And the final, I would say, point is that we all talk about plans and processes and meetings and so forth, but early stage funding is very much about trust. You need to be able to build trust, which means that you need to have a credible story, but you need to have a credible team, and you as a person needs to be credible. And you need to start to communicate before you need the money. I don't think I've met any investor that had a meeting and just wrote a check. It never happens. Start doing regular investment updates, get people interested in your newsletter, start to communicate your story, celebrate the small wins that you do on the customer side, the technology side, new recruits, whatever, but just be out there and be present so that once you get to that investment meeting, they've heard about you, they've been in the loop for some time, they also know maybe who else is looking into this particular case, and then you have a much, much larger probability of being able to close that actual investor.
Thank you very much, Steinar. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely exciting times the last 18 months or so to be both on the investor side, but also on the startup side and everything. So much has changed, and it will continue to change. So thank you, Steinar, for all these great insights and perspectives. And talking about funds a little bit here, we will now listen to Sven Magnus Sørensson, who will tell us a little bit how you raised a pan-Nordic fund, actually, called Nordic Ignite. So big hands for Sven Magnus.
Thank you. So I'm here representing Nordic Ignite. Let me stand on this side so you can see. Nordic Ignite is an angel investment fund, or an angel investment company, really. And we're doing things a bit differently. We do not have a heavy finance background like most funds. We are mostly made up of angels. That means small angel investors doing investments with their own private money. We have gathered them together in a fund or a company to do joint investments in mostly the Nordics and the Baltics, in fields where these areas are strong. Making up this company, if you take the next slide, please. We have the 7 founders who founded this fund in late 2021. We have 23 angel ambassadors and 34 angel network members. This will grow. All of these angels are part of the fund. That means that if you get investments from us, you also get the potential of co-investments and advisory support from all of these angels, which means an investment is not just a single investment. It's a lot more than that. And we feel that this is actually a really important way of doing investments due to what we'll have on the next slide, which is that there is a critical gap in funding, especially in startups, especially in the Nordics. And this is partly due to limited government support and small amounts of business angels. Finding the angels you need in the critical early stage startup phase is often very hard. We see a lot of startups struggling with it. Even the startups that we ourselves have found and like and have invested in, they are still struggling filling up their rounds because angels can't always take the entire round or take several rounds in a row. So with this fund, we're hoping to mitigate some of this by pooling the money and making larger investments in the most promising startups in this field. So with that, we are doing things differently, building a fund for angels, by angels, that will really enable startups to grow and succeed better than before, hopefully.
Thank you. Do you have time for a question?
Yes.
When it comes to the investment mandate, which countries are you looking at the moment?
The Nordics and the Baltics, mostly.
Yeah, so it corresponds very well with our accelerator cohorts as well.
That's true.
So speak to this guy at the bar afterwards. Thank you. Thanks. We're going to move on to the pitches. To
the investor panel.
Yeah, but before that, we're going to go to the investor panel and let everyone introduce themselves. So if we start with you, Björn, you want to give 30 seconds? Yeah?
Glad to be in Norway.
Yeah.
No, this one is too close to that one. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. I'm Björn Larsson, but now I represent Västerås Tech Invest. Thank you.
I'm Valeria Temple. Can you hear me? Okay, Valeria Temple. I'm 30 years in Silicon Valley. A couple of interesting projects in Norway. Now I'm getting into the angel field. I'm representing one of the investment angel group in Norway, women angel group. So basically, it's going to be the first female venture fund in Norway.
Great.
Hi, Pelin Zasmines. I'm a serial founder, maybe, that I can say finally. I'm the founder and the CEO of Scale Up Lab, which is helping startups to scale. And I'm also working on a new project to make female investors become board members more by giving them a training so that they can be more active board members in the startups that they are investing also. So, thanks.
Great.
Patrick Sandal, representing Investinor. I've been in the VC world for 25 years, almost soon 26, 27. Partner at Telenor Venture, CEO of LP, I could say, a family office, and then also within investment banking. And heading tech at Investinor, we have 5 billion or 500 million US, and the direct mandate, and we're also doing fund in fund, so we should talk. and we also very focused on getting more women into the board.
He's going to be a busy guy. Awesome. Thank you, Patrick.
Still Steinar Schwalsen, partner service.
And still Mark Willis.
All right, thank you very much. So Stefan is going to introduce the first startup pretty soon. But basically the way we're going to structure this now is that everyone got 5 minutes to pitch. And then we leave 5 minutes for Q&As after. So based on the pitch, if every one of you can think about one question to ask, we'll see if we can fit that into 1 minute. If not, we might have to skip a few, but we'll have that as an ambition, so all of you have one question after each pitch. Anything you want to add to that, Stefan?
No, I'm happy to get going. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's start with the first startup. We will go to... Aha, okay. Yeah, all right. Do that instead. Yeah.
On the panel on behalf of Jørn, who is one of the founders of Nordic Ignite, but he's not able to be here tonight, or is coming in a little bit later. So as I already presented, I'm representing Nordic Ignite. I'm also the chairman of Norwegian Business Angel Network, and I have been an active angel investor for the past 5 years myself.
Great.
Great. All right. So now we will switch between Sweden and Norway and Finland tonight, and now we will actually go to Stockholm and Sweden, but actually to meet a Norwegian guy living in Stockholm, who's the founder of a research-based company called Northern Lights Diagnostics. And they have a really exciting solution that really can help a lot of people who has it really hard today, but also save a lot of money for the public sector. So big hands to Jan Furrevald.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Very nice to meet you all, and even the panelists that has actually joined us during the process. So thank you for all your good parts. And my 5 minutes will start Okay, very good. And the pitch deck.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, Nordic Light Diagnostics, we are a software development company focused on AI-based decision support tool in mental health care. My name is Jan Furuvall, I'm the CEO. I worked 30 years with digitalization in healthcare, mainly in Europe, North America, and East Africa. Example, Sweden, 500,000 patients are diagnosed with depression annually. It's increasing, so this group represents 500,000. After first treatment, there will be 25% of the patients will respond to the treatment. 75 will not. 3 out of 4 will not respond to first treatment. After 6 months, there will be half of it will then have reached remission. The other half has still not been on the right one. Still not. What will take most time is to get the person on the right treatment. Evaluation of each treatment takes 6 to 8 weeks. It's a sequential process, and if you add this up, it's up to 6 months. 6 months for a patient is a very long time. 1 week is what the scientists, my colleagues at Karolinska Institute, has come up with as the alternative. And this one was not very easy. Any help? No. These 3 has to be done in parallel. And through this algorithm that has been discovered from Stefan, my colleague sitting there, and his partner, scientist Sandra, is that if you measure this behavior over 1 week, you are able to find what kind of treatment each patient individually will respond to. And this is based on individual objective measurements. And this is the key element of this one, scientific-based methodology, Karolinska Institute. This will bring 75% up to remission within 6 months. In Sweden, out of the 500,000, it's 116 patients, adding up to a reduction cost on 750 million euros annually. The team is Sandra and Stefan, scientists. We have Leon Lawrence as the CTO. We have myself and Fredrik. He has the similar time in health, sales, leadership, and internationalization in healthcare. And we also have, in Norway, we have an advisor called Hans Nilsen Hauge, which was the former IT director of Helse Sør-Øst. And we have been supported heavily by Vinnova, Almi Invest, Karolinska. Philips was our development partner as well. So we have ongoing studies in our prime target group. 1 clinic in Sweden, in Växjö. We have 2 psychiatric centers in Norway, Follo and Fredrikstad. And we are preparing for studies in Finland, most likely Tampere. We have a CE registration. Sorry. We have a US patent in North America. And we work quite a lot now on business and technical development and have the launch of the product in 2024. We are working, as advised from the panel as well, the one who buys, the one who provides the care, and we have a price model, B2B only, subscription to the region's insurance companies, and pay per analyze for primary care units. Based on 200 euros per analyze, the market in Sweden will be 100 million euros. We open for external investments after summer. We have a plan that actually will have we need an investment on 10 million Swedish crowns to reach a positive cash flow in 2025, and this will then make us present in 2 up to 3 Nordic countries. And the reason for us to go pan-Nordic is that for partnership in this area, we have got the feedback that they like to be in the Nordics. We are together a market on 23 million, and this could actually be something that give us an opportunity to be bigger, grow faster in Europe and so on. So that is it.
Thank you very much. Great pitch. So who wants to start?
I had a question. How are you planning to sign up your first clients, first customers?
By direct sale in Norway, Sweden and Finland. The first one.
Okay. So you're going to have a sales team?
I think we have enough resources for the moment to do that. It's based on the experience of myself and the others.
You already trained the data, or are you going to train together with your clients?
We have trained quite a lot of the data. We have data from 300 patients, 800 recordings, and we'll be up to 500 patients by year end. So for depression, in this treatment part, we believe we can be trained with the data we have, but we need to have more to go into other areas like monitoring and early detection of depression. Then we need more, and that have to come from the customers. I can mention that those 3 we have, they are studies, but we don't pay for the studies, which we normally do in healthcare environments. So they do it to have their own experience. But we didn't get paid, unfortunately.
You say that you say that you plan to be cash flow positive in 2025 if you get the money needed to grow out. Have you then? Does that mean that you have gotten all the permits and everything that you need to actually sell and operate the service for the health systems in the Nordics, or will there be a lot of waiting time to get permits and approvals?
No, for the moment we have only gone through the ethical committees with the studies. But it will be more or less the similar part, and this is done by the organizations. So it's not the company that actually gets from the ethical committee is the provider. So from us, we are in Sweden and Norway. Finland, we believe we are at the same. We are evaluated, but we have not any approval yet. But we have the approval from Norway and Sweden.
Jan, you go live with your product in Q1 2024. What would be the biggest risk for that go live date to be postponed?
It depends on the country. So we have an MDD. We have to be an MDR by May 2025. So we have to do that in parallel. So if we don't get the money, it's much higher risk that this will come on stake. So the money is about also to secure this process. So it has to be done together with the development.
My question is related to the data set as well. Could you elaborate a little bit on GDPR issues potentially when you want to share data across borders?
Cross borders is a big task in the GDPR, and also we have worked on the work stream for each and every point of where you actually do transition of data. When we have done this specifically in Norway in the 2 clinics. So we are at the moment at the USB level in one of the studies, but on the GDPR, I think it's as long as it's GDPR, it's the same rules for everyone. What is very special is a patient law in the different countries. So Finland is much more liberate. Norway, they are afraid that we have a new Dr. Foster part. Sweden had the same with the Transportstyrelsen to send away all this data. So I think everybody is a little worried to give away. What we receive is the anonymous data when we train the algorithm. So we don't get the named patients. The biggest challenge is that we have pseudonymized, so it's possible to track if you have the double register, but we will never have the real one.
So will you go for the regions or the insurance companies first as your first clients? Because that's, I mean, insurance companies, why should they have you as a customer?
Yeah, it's except for the healthier population. But to answer your first question, in the Nordics it will be the regions because we don't have too many of the insurance companies. If you are in Germany, that will be a total different part because you have both the insurance company with their own hospital chains. But to answer this strictly, Nordic will be regions. The reason why they should do it is that they consider significantly lower their cost and they have a healthier population. So they will have maybe 1/3 of this cost reduction. The biggest winner is the employer by shortening the time for depression.
The biggest winner is the patient. But
I understood it like a financial question.
Revenue and in 24 and revenue in 25.
25 will be 10 million. 24, 3. Kroner.
Okay. Do you have any previous investors, and are they investing in this round?
The only one is KI Holding, which were actually invested from the start, and Alminvest has done a little peak-hole investment. Beside that, it's only entrepreneurs.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you. And great. So we're going to move on to the next startup. It's a Norwegian company this time from Kristiansand. We have two founders with us today. It's Reinert and Trine. Do you want to say hi, Trine, as we can see you as well? You don't have to go to the stage today, but Trine is a part of the team. The company is called EasyCare, and they have developed a platform for controlling and keeping track of equipment. So welcome, Reinert Seiland and EasyCare.
I'm Reinert Seiland and Trine is behind there, and we are going to talk about something you will all get in contact with sooner or later, I hope later. We are going to talk about software for logistics of equipment in healthcare. The background is quite bleak. We are talking about the deep worldwide crisis exemplified in Norway, where 20% of the population will need help, assistance in 2040. Most of the care in Scandinavia is given by the municipalities. We have more than thousands of them, and each municipality have much more than 10,000 items at patients' home at any time, so it's an incredible number, and it's rising dramatically. In other countries than Scandinavia, there are private caretakers, and our solutions may easily be adapted to those. The problem is that allocation and logistics around this equipment is very cumbersome. It's manual today, and it needs to be digitalized, and that's exactly what we have done. We have made a software that takes care of the entire work chain in this service, and that ensures that you get the right equipment to the right person at the right time, which is not the case today, always, and it reduces cost and is environmentally very sustainable. The product itself starts with registration of needs. Then there is a matchmaking process between need and possibilities, and when the equipment arrives at the warehouse, we put on a QR code which follows the product throughout its life cycle through delivery and return. We started the company in 2017, and we have worked a lot with different municipalities in Norway to design exactly what is the work cycle you need to replicate with you the digital version. And I'm proud to say that in April, we released the final version of what we call warehouse and logistics, and that is a commercial operational software today, and it's used in daily life in Risør Kommune today. We know there are other companies that do somewhat similar products, but not the entire workflow. And substitutions are not very easy to make. We have used 4 or 5 years to design this tool, so we think we have 2-3 years head start at least. Today we are a very small team, me, Trine and one more, but as soon as we get funding we will start to recruit a team, and that will first be focused on marketing and sales and support, but there will also be technical staff, technical control staff involved. So we will continue to work with some of those partner companies we have, but we will soon get our own staff. We also have a roadmap. I won't go into detail, but there are 2 important things to remember about this. One is that we will maintain the head start by adding new products, new add-ons to our base model, and by that increasing the revenue quite a lot. We sell our software as a service, software as a service. There is a common basic model, and we make add-on modules for specific purposes. There is an installation cost and a monthly fee. This is a prognosis which we have worked a lot on with some of these guys here, and you can see that in year 5 we have quite substantial and nice figures. There are a lot of assumptions going into this, but I would say most of those assumptions are quite conservative. In fact, the figures were much higher when I started, but then we need 6.2 million NOK to realize this job. We have valuated the company to 30 million NOK, and we will sell 20% of the company to you in order to be part of this, we think, very nice adventure. So, thank you.
Shall I start then?
Yes.
Okay. You said you were going to get the money and then recruit the team.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that? Because we're investing in the team.
Yes. I have been part of startup teams before, and I have fired people before. Firing people is the worst thing I've ever done. I will not recruit people before I'm pretty certain that we can keep them for a while. Therefore, as soon as we get the money, I will start recruiting. We have quite a lot of competence today, but we need certainly a team. And we have some people in our mind, and as soon as I get the money, we'll start.
How have you been funding this so far?
Trine has been very kind to me. She is the investor. She has funded the company together with a loan from Innovation Norway.
Okay, maybe that can explain that it has been quite some time since it started. So Innovation Norway was maybe funding the past 6 years. But what did take so long? Is there something which is stopping the scalability of this thing, that there are only a few communes which are using it and it took some time to develop it? What is your biggest challenge in technical terms?
In technical terms, it's a very complicated life cycle. And there is nothing written about how to do this job today. So we have spent a lot of time to interview the people working in the process. We have interviewed them a couple of times. We even went out to the patient with them, because what they say and what they do is not exactly the same always. So we need to spend a lot of time to design the project, the process. And then we had a couple of years of halt with the COVID. The municipalities just died. They were not. It was not possible to talk to them. So 2 years just.
I want to go back to the team question. So since you don't have the team yet, what are the competencies that you will be needing for this team, since you apparently have been developing this solution either by yourself or with the current few people involved?
We have worked a lot with very competent partner companies, and we continue to work them. We build on the IT platform of a very nice company that works mainly for the oil industry. So they have built a logistics platform that we build our applications on. And we work with Egde, one of the best e-health teams in Norway, and we continue to do that. But we lack a staff on marketing, sales, and we need to take control of the coding, the design. So that's the two main parts we will start recruiting as soon as possible.
Reinhard, you work with communities. You already have onloaded a couple of communities. What's your strategy to, let's say, land and expand that to the whole of Norway when it comes to communities?
We are talking to quite a lot of communities. We have one signed in already, and we are talking to, let's say, 10 different consortia of some of, one is 6 municipalities in the cluster. We are talking to a big one, which is handled by a third party, and so on and so forth. So it's the dialogue. It's being present at conferences, shows, so on, getting hold of people, trying to get the phone number, trying to get in, trying to reach these 2 levels you were talking about, the people doing the stuff and the people paying for it.
My question is related, and it's on the customer side. In your opinion, who is the ultimate stakeholder? Who owns this problem? Because everyone agrees that it should be done something to this thing. But no one would like to change their own behavior. They would like to see everyone else do change.
No, you're quite right. There is no need for more description of the problem. Everybody realizes the problem. And you have the 3 stakeholders. You have the patient, which is the one who suffers most today. Some communities, there are a year waiting time for this. Then it's the people working in the life cycle. Some of them use more than 50% of their time for administration. I think that's ridiculous. That's absolutely stupid. And then you have the ones who pays for this, and they need to lower their budget. They can't get money for this. There aren't resources. You can't hire people, and so on. So there are the three people.
What's the size of your organization in 25?
In 25, that's only 2 years, and it's about 5-6 people. It's a management staff of 3-4 people, and then there is a sales crew for Norway and probably also for Sweden, and then there is a technical designer, a service designer.
I believe you will need a bit more people, and so 6.2 is the first stage, but this company will need more money afterwards, because you have to scale the organization with customer success and to follow up the. If you're going to do 100 communities in Norway, you can't do that with 6 people.
No, you can't.
And even though you have partners, they will still look at you.
So the operation of the software itself is done by our partner company. So it's the follow-up of the clients, and you're absolutely right. You can't do that with 100 clients but we will scale up as needed. I'm very aware of the problem to grow too fast, and not. It has not been a problem until now, but I'm very aware of that. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Rainer. Big applause. All right, now we will go to another problem, and perhaps this is a personal problem for some of you as well, or at least an opportunity. So how many of you here would like to have a better voice? Raise your hand, let me see. Yeah. Yes, because you can use your voice in a better way, can't you, Louise?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to listen to Louise, who's developed a digital voice coach that you can use in your pocket. You can actually download this app tonight and actually use it and do that. So a big applause. Welcome to Malmö and Louise.
Thank you.
And voice diagnostics.
Thank you. All right, can you hear me? Yes. Let's do this. Okay, I'm Louise Strangem. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Voice Diagnostic. We deliver Voice Arena, your digital voice coach. Meet Thomas. He's a high school teacher and often loses his voice. He needs a healthy and strong voice. He needs the voice that's sustainable and hearable. And like every third European, Thomas has a work that is heavily reliable on his voice to work. Oh, sorry about that. Oh. On his voice to carry out his work. Now the problem here is that the only way for Thomas to actually get a better voice is seeking healthcare treatment in Sweden. That takes 6 months of referrals, and it's very likely he is denied treatment. So that's why my team and I have delivered Voice Arena. This is living its own life. We delivered Voice Arena. We're combining research-based exercise programs with next-level voice analytics. Our voice therapist, Susanna, and our doctor, Henrik, they have created self-care voice exercise programs that you do from the comfort of your home or workplace. And Voice Arena, with that, we bring voice training to when it suits you. You get to follow different training programs based on your specific needs. You train 5 to 10 minutes per session. And for self-assessments and voice analytics, you get to track your development. Now, the beauty with us is that we stem from university research. Our technology is medical-based, and our what's happening? Oh, sorry. It's based on medical research. And the beauty here is that our voice technology is language independent, meaning we can scale it globally. It doesn't matter which language you speak. We can actually analyze your voice. Moreover, our app is already available in Swedish and English, so we're ready to take on the market. So who do we target? We target professionals who depend a lot on their voice. We target managers, salespeople, higher executives, teachers, actors, and many more. And if we look to the market, 125 million people have voice-demanding professions in Europe and US, and that will actually grow. We target 3.5 million Europeans within our initial target groups, and that are at high risk of having these voice problems. Based on our user studies, our users will use our app for at least 3 months, reaching a market value of 1,560 million SEK. Now, with Voice Arena, we launched our app to iPhone or Apple App Store 1 month ago in Sweden. We use a subscription model of 149 SEK per month, and we have a free trial of 14 days. Now, already 1 month in, we see an activation rate of 34% from download to subscription, so we have paying users. We target B2C, but we already see traction when it comes to B2B from employers that are actually, under Swedish law, they need to attain for their voice health among their employees. So we're looking forward to running pilots there as well. When it comes to customer acquisition, we work online with social media, campaigns, SEO, and we work offline. We have presence in newspapers, we attend work fairs, and we try to collaborate with work unions. Now, this is my fantastic team. We're 7 founders out of 5 are researchers at Lund University. Our AI development is headlined by Professor Andreas Jakobsson. Our medical development is headlined by Susanna Wittling, our voice therapist and top researcher in voice ergonomics in the world. And we're just a great bunch of people. We are backed by investors, a bank fund, Lund University's holding company, and Mink Incubator. And they are actually following us in this round we're raising now. Now, on our path to becoming the voice for voice, during 2022 and early 2023, we've run pilot tests with individuals, with the municipality, and we have a clinical research study that's ongoing, trying to create a neural network, matching your target voice with the specific exercises that you need to do. Now, we launched, and we need to raise funds to grow. So, what are we raising? We're raising 3 million SEK at a valuation of 10 million. That will give us more than 12 months of a runway. We will launch and scale our product both on iPhone as well as Android, grow in Sweden, and look to the next international market. The fund will go to funding me and 3 other employees that are already employed, and we will scale our team and activities in marketing and sales. That is really what we need money for. So far, we secured 1.25 million kroners from founders, existing investors, and new business angels that run health tech companies in Nordics. All right, so if you want to improve your voice, come talk to me about Voice Arena. If you want to know the latest in emerging voice technology, come grab a coffee with me in Malmö. Thank you.
That's great. I can see that we're running a bit short of time here now, so we won't be able to do the round with the 7 questions. But if you raise your hand, we'll try to do 3 or 4 on each round instead. So we can start with Pelin.
Just one question. There are some diseases which require some voice therapy, like thyroid operation, for example. The cords are getting damaged. Do you have something for that, or is it just for this soft skill purposes, let's say?
Exactly. So you can actually use our product if you have those kind of diseases, or if you have Parkinson's, or if you are within the menopause, which also affects the voice. So definitely, with our training isn't harmful for anyone. It's actually usable for everyone.
Okay, I was a little bit worried. Thank you for a great pitch. Excellent. But I was a little bit worried when you said that they leave after 3 months, because if you solve this in 3 months, how is the CAC LTV? I mean, it's 500 kronor for one person, and then they're out. It must cost more to acquire them.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why we're also looking into the B2B market to get more long-running customers and users. What we see, though, from our current users and from our pilots is that most people who have voice-demanding professions, they use their voice all the time. So with voice training, if you do it for 3 months and then stop, you will see a decay. You will have the theory, but you won't have the practice. So what we already see is actually people having trained with us stopped, and then they come back. We don't know the numbers for that yet, but that's our hope. Yeah.
Great, thanks. 3 million sounds like a little bit low number for me. So what's the next round? What is your plan for the next round after that?
The next round we plan to raise around 10 to 12 million SEK, and that will mostly be for scaling internationally, both B2C and B2B. A lot going into customer and sales service. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Now we're moving back to Norway, and we're going to meet a company based in Bergen, and they do monitor for heart rate using intelligent sensor technology. And the company is led by a medical doctor, and his name is Øystein. So please, Øystein, welcome aboard.
Thank you. Is it working? Okay, fine. Hello, I'm Øystein, the medical doctor, and I'm here with Andreas, my co-founder. You can hook us afterwards if it's questions. I'm here to talk to you about intelligent respiratory monitoring. Respiratory monitoring is the single vital sign that tells the most about a patient's health status to us health clinicians. Even so, it's done manually in hospital, outside hospital. It's highly inaccurate. It's done by checkpoints throughout the follow-up, and it's really time-consuming. So it's actually ridiculous how we do this today. It's time to leave the Stone Age and introduce the digital world. The other problem is that the healthcare system is not sustainable for the future. More people are being hospitalized and less people are going into nursing. This means longer hospital stay, higher healthcare costs, and eventually decreased patient safety. We have the perfect storm of problems with respiratory monitoring. And we need a digital solution that is accurate, efficient, and patient-centered. And that's where Jubnia comes in. We are financing development of a stick-on wearable sensor with mobile connectivity, continuously monitoring respiratory rate and heart rate, and pattern recognition for decision-making for healthcare personnel. We are offering silent alarms to nurses to minimize the disturbance for patients and reducing the workload for nurses. We are also in active discussion with third-party companies that's already delivering integration digital home monitoring into the public healthcare systems. And with Jubnia, we are going to unlock multiple benefits. For the nurse, we are going to empower the nurse to do target observation, early intervention, and that's going to lead to better patient care. Patients are going to be able to go home from hospitals earlier, providing safety with the healthcare system in the background at home. And the patient at risk from home on can stay home and be monitoring, enabling treatment at the lowest level of healthcare, reducing the readmission rates at hospital. For example, let's consider Haukeland University Hospital in Bergen. If 1 in 5 patients are going to use the monitor, and 20% of the patient that uses the monitor can be discharged 1 day before, the hospital can save 60 million Norwegian kroner a year. They're going to get return of their investment in 3 months, and Jubnia can get a net profit from 10 million per hospital. Jubnia have several advantages. Oh, the team. We have a mixed team with technical engineers, medical and research personnel, and entrepreneurial experience. We have successfully established pilot customers and development partners to finish the development of the hardware, and the strategic stakeholders into the wireless monitoring. And we are a proud member of Eitri Medical Incubator located at Haukeland University Hospital in Bergen. We have pilot customers with Haraldsplass waiting for doing the rest of the technical development and doing the validation of the sensor. Jubnia has several competitors and advantages: secure mobile connectivity, open integrations into third-party companies, and pattern recognition on respiratory rate for decisioner. We had 3 stages. The target hospital, the target market is hospital, the multiplicity service, and the home monitoring market. Go-to-market strategy is built up as a sensor, as a SaaS subscription fee to the B2B and integrated into third-party companies. We have 3-stage rocket ship to enter the market. We are going to finish development and the validation of the sensor, and then we're going to go to clinical trials, and then go to market and build a market scale-up team. We are seeking 4.5 million NOK to stand out in an innovation contract with Innovation Norway and together with Haraldsplass. We have half of the money needed, and we are looking for a lead investor or a competent capital to be on the journey. We are in 18 months gonna finish the development of the sensor and validation, and then move on to clinical trials. If you go into our web page, upnia.no, you can make a /investor. You see this presentation. You can also make coffee meeting with us. I know this takes some while, so you can get better feeling, and hook us for questions afterwards.
All right, thank you. So, who's got the microphone? Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Øystein. One question I have is, who is the ultimate payer for this? Is it going to be the hospital? Who is going to be that?
That's a really good question. The short answer on that question is this is going to need to build up by the hospital. The hospital is the ultimate user. So the start sales for this project is the hospital. The multiplicity is of course a user. People don't die on the surgery table today. They die in 30 days. So the whole package needs to be a 30-day surveillance. So our plan is that we want to get the hospital to pay for it and the multiplicity and home monitoring to use it. That's the short answer.
My question is related to your answer, actually. Do you think the hospitals would be willing to buy a service rather than buy the products and be in charge of the operating the whole product range themselves?
I think they need to buy both. As a hospital director or clinical, I can kind of relate to that. 20% of my patients need this, and that's correlated to number of patients. And the next thing they can correlate to is the amount of time they need observation. But every patient have different follow-ups. Somebody has home nursing, somebody has multiplicities, and that's need to be specialized definitely for the patients.
I probably just don't know the subject so well. If let's say the heart for the patient, the heart rate drops low and he's at home, what's going to happen then?
That depends on how they are hooked up. If they have a multiplicity, it goes alarm off to the nurse at a multiplicity as a home nurse. Okay. Yeah. And this is meant for rich patients, so probably they have a home nurse. The problem as today is that the home nurse is sent home to check on the patient and count the respiratory rate 4 times a day. So they're gonna get an alert. It even take if the patient falls, and that's not innovative. But if you falls and then increase respiratory rate and pulse, you probably broke something, and that we can tell.
Okay, thank you, Øystein. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, next up, we're going to go back to Sweden and again, and to the south of Sweden and Malmö, and meet the company with an actually international company, international team with a global potential and a big opportunity to help a lot of people around the world. So a warm welcome here to Brian Ahmed from Salimene.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Fellow founders and DigitalWell Ventures, thank you for hosting this event. أتمنى الجميع يكونوا بخير وسالمين. That translates into English. I hope everyone is safe and secure. Salimene is an Arabic word, originates from the Middle Eastern culture, the MENA region, which stands for Middle East and North Africa, where I originally come from. The name of Salimene, or the company, the journey of Salimene started 6 months ago. In that morning, a gloomy December morning, I woke up, I felt the need for seeking a psychologist. The research led me to struggling, finding someone who understands my culture and language. This is where the journey started. On the way here, and yesterday, something really interesting happened that made me believe that, I guess, we should change, the target from the MENA to be global. On the train, there was a lady sat next to me, Eritrean lady. I guess she could see some relevance to how I look. She sat next to me and she started telling me a story. about her broken marriage with 2 kids that she hasn't seen in 4 years, age of 10 and 12. And as she started telling me the story, I just couldn't stand it. I started crying. And I asked her, have you not sought mental health to speak to someone? She said, I cannot. There is nobody here that understands my language or culture. We have gone through a conversation, and that conversation, she was insisting on getting in contact with me to help her finding someone that understands her problem. And that moment, I guess, got me thinking of not just targeting the MENA region, but there are plenty of people around the world, minorities, migrants, who are living across different parts of the world. They need that solution. We were making a platform to connect psychologists and psychiatrists, licensed, verified ones, to the customers. I would call them customers, people who live across the world. Our main target was the MENA, because Arabic speaking, where we realized there's a 40 million of them in the EU and the USA. It's quite a large number. And since 2019, all the solutions were available in the market. It's a westernized one. There is nothing that include these people. So we thought of bringing something from the people and to the people. And this is where Salimeen journey began. We are making it affordable and culturally sensitive, and that's one of the key challenges. And I've had a discussion with Mark regarding this. He shares some understanding of this as well in the Netherlands, where there's a big community of the people there can't get this solution. We are matchmaking those licensed doctors with these people, and we claim to be the only and the first one globally that has solved a very critical issue, which is prescribing a medicine. And that's what we call it a trade secret today. There is nothing like us today in the world that is able for me to prescribe a medicine to someone who lives across other part of the world to get a medicine. So we have sorted that out. This is how the product looks like. I mean, both in tablets and computer. We have simplified the process, and our aim is to being in a platform that people come to us to be safe and secure. We're using a cutting-edge technology. Initially, we thought about blockchain until we were advised that blockchain is not the best thing, and thanks to David. I mean, our journey with DigitalWell Ventures was really educative. So through the process, we have learned a lot of things, and now we are replacing the blockchain technology with something more advanced, yet applicable, doable, and easy. Our expansion, again, this pitch was supposed to be until yesterday, until we met that Eritrean lady, but it's no longer going to be the same. I'm hoping that upon my return from here to Malmo, we will redesign the whole business model without that affecting the scalability and financially becomes a burden. So the target market, we are targeting the migrants who live in the EU and USA. This is how the people are distributed. In Sweden, in Germany we have 3.3. In Sweden we have 700,000. France 6 million. USA it's 8.5. Our revenue is based on 3 straightforward mechanisms. We charge commission from the service providers, take subscription fees, and we are licensing. We started a serious discussion with 2 clinics in Malmo where this could be a pilot project. We are here not looking for investors per se, we're looking for partners. I just arrived yesterday from a trip in the GCC where we have 2 investors ready to invest with us. But we are not looking for investors, we're looking for partners. And we would like to prioritize raising the first fund in here because this is where we're given the opportunity. That's how our investment look like, the monthly burning rate, and we have received great support by the coaches and mentors at DigitalWell Ventures to produce these figures. The team today, I would claim to be one of the most diverse startup. We have 9 nationalities out of 10 number of people, so very diverse from all walk and path of life, from Oman, the US, the UK, name it. This is our journey. Today we are at the pre-seed round. This is where targeting to raise 3.4 million for the coming 3 years. We are cash positive in the first quarter of the third year by 5%, and moving forward towards the end of the year we anticipate to have 15% positive cash flow. Thank you so much for everybody being here, and I sincerely appreciate the opportunity being given to us by DigitalWell Ventures, and we will look forward to meeting and speaking with the investors that shares with us the vision and the mission to make Salimeen and all communities safe and secure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very good question. I don't know how to make this work. Okay, great. Very good thought, and very like from the social standpoint, it is very a great idea. My question is, how are you going to make people to sign up? How do you make people to actually really start using the product? From the culture, from whatever little I know from the culture of migrants, it is not very natural to even go to psychologists, but maybe I mean, it's not, you go to your friends, you talk to somebody on the bus, and you know, what happened to you yesterday? Will that woman really pick up the phone and pay the money that she needs to pay for your product? Explain, please.
You seem to be really knowledgeable about the Middle Eastern culture, and well, thanks for that. We have surveyed nearly 1,000 plus people where the result shows 97% positive that they are in need of such a service and willing to pay for that. The good thing about our service, you know, we are matchmaking them with psychologists and psychiatrists who understands their culture. They could be living anywhere in the world, and that reduces the cost significantly. We have an approximate price that we could price between 30 to 40 euros per session, and that is 25% of the cost in Sweden, or you know, in the EU. People are willing to pay, and as these migrants, second, third generations, they're also adapting, they're acquiring the new culture status of where they are living. So their understanding of going to a psychologist, and here nobody's going anywhere, they're doing it from their living room technically. So the shame of being seen at a clinic is not there. This is fully private, fully confidential, safe and secure. Yeah, thanks.
One question about the legality of this, because most health services professionals in areas such as these have to be licensed. So to do services like this in Norway, you need to be a licensed psychologist or psychiatrist. How will you deal with the legality of actually providing this service across borders?
Right. That's a trade secret which I'm not going to share with you guys. But I'll talk to you about the legality of that. We have introduced a third party. It's one of the largest UK companies called Qualification Check. These people's role primarily is to validate, authenticate, and ensure that this person is licensed and legal to offer such a service. The challenge when it comes to, the main challenge is when it comes to the psychiatrist, because there is a medicine prescription. This is where we have solved that issue, and this is where we're going to patent this. So in terms of offering counseling, psychologists, there is no problem. We have crossed that, and we have a good team, you know, among the We have a legal advisor that is internationally practicing, and we have gone through all the legalities there to ensure that this won't be of any problem to the company. Yeah.
I think we can handle one more question.
Sure.
Okay.
IRP guys.
I want. Thank you for a story which is very true. It's not a storytelling.
No,
very good.
thanks.
But my question was actually very concrete. In 6 months, you've done this.
Yeah.
And what was the amount you were raising? Was it euros or NOK or SEK?
Euros.
3.4
million euros.
Okay. So what pre-money valuation are you doing that at?
25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. All right.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Great.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. We're going to stay in Sweden. We're moving from Malmö up north to Luleå. And we have 2 entrepreneurs with us today. We have Johan here. But the main founder in this femtech space company is Helene Strandqvist. And she will now tell us how you manage, how professional women will be able to manage their menopause. So welcome, Helene.
Thank you. Me, and You is the world's first app helping professional women manage menopause. Menopause-age women are the fastest growing group in the workplace today, accounting for 60% of all working women, which means that during their peak working years, they are also faced with the enormous challenge of menopause. I'm Helene, co-founder and CEO of Me, and You. I'm also one of the 500 million professional women in menopause today. For me, it started before I turned 40. I was unable to handle stress. I was irritated with my co-workers. I stormed out of meetings in anger and tears. It was completely unlike me. Another friend of mine was having trouble concentrating at work. And when she started forgetting important meetings and even words, she had to pause her career when she had just reached her C-suite. These are common problems among professional women in menopause. In fact, most women experience a wide range of symptoms that 80% say affect their daily life, family, career, and work performance negatively. However, symptoms are different for everyone, as each woman is unique. With that in mind, we created Me, and You. Unlike other menopause solutions, we use machine learning to personally match each woman to science-based activities to help manage symptoms and optimized work performance. Let me see now. Sorry. The daily interaction that our user have with the app actually make the app more valuable and sticky to them over time because of the deeper personalization they get with our learning loop. The global menopause market is a $17 billion opportunity, expected to grow more than 5% each year. And the global menopause at work market is having a momentum right now. Our business model is subscriptions for professional women with the enormous possibility to be both a business to consumer and business to business company.
When we sell our application to corporates, which we already are in talks with, they get recognized for being supportive. They also get to keep their professional women a crucial leadership position, promoting gender equality too. And if you look at the competitive landscape, you can see that professional women are a very underserved demographic, and a personalized machine learning solution like me, we, and you, an unmet need. We are a passionate team of 6 persons, all with their personal experience of menopause. We have already reached several milestones. We did a small beta testing and couldn't believe the level of interaction that the user had with our app. And now we are doing beta tests with 100 professional women, also landing a workplace pilot. Our plan is to learn together with professional women and to grow fast with workplaces and in new markets. Me and you is raising 2.5 million SEK at 12 million SEK cap to grow the team, reach relevance in our user group, and release the app in our test market, Sweden. Since more women become menopausal than bear children now, and menopause is a 7 to 14-year journey, the overall opportunity is huge. Let's talk and explore how we can do this together, me, we, and you. Thank you.
Thanks, Helen. Great presentation.
Oh, thank you.
Very on topic, and it's a really important topic, we know. You have the app. How long have we talked earlier on with Louise on how long the user will use the app? What is your prediction on how long people will keep using your app once they have installed it?
Well, if they love the app and use it, I think they will use it for a long time. I think, because menopause is a long transition. So that's the key.
Could you please elaborate on your go-to-market strategy? How do you reach your 5,000 or 10,000 users?
Yeah. The focus right now is to be wherever the professional women are, to try to reach them there, and that would mean at their professional women's networks, for one thing, and at workplaces. That's the immediate plan. Yeah. Be wherever they are.
What is it that the app do that a doctor with the right hormone replacement therapy cannot?
Yeah, HRT is great for hot flashes and night sweats. But there are many other symptoms over 60. So there's a lot more to solve. And when it comes to solving professional women's trouble at work, it's more emotional problems and mental problems. And we could do a lot there that HRT cannot do.
Can you elaborate a little bit? What is it on the app that would give you the ability not to remember, to actually control yourself in those types of situations?
Yeah. Well, the activities in the app are education and therapies and also different strategies. So there's everything on there. I can demonstrate it to you afterwards. It's strength training, it's hormone yoga, it's different kind of education, and even food recipes and everything that you could need, and meditation and breathing exercises that you can actually do at work as well.
What's the subscription model? How much
The subscription model is 149 SEK per month. Yes.
And I must also say that this is really important, but it's very difficult when you come with femtech, because all the men in the VC rooms have never experienced this. So I wish you all the best, and hopefully you will do larger round later on.
Yeah.
And we will talk.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Helena. And we will now go to Finland, and for the next startup. Health can come in many ways, so this case will be a little bit different than from what we've seen so far. But it's very interesting, and we will actually be able to see this live after all these sessions together with the next company here. A big welcome to Sami from Winemill.
Thank you very much. Before we started here and put the mic on, I said to the sound check guys that I will be speaking quite loud, and he was the upper one. Okay, thanks. And he was raising his eyebrows. So I will try to keep my voice down a bit. Hello, my name is Sami Goffin, and I am the founder and CEO of a wine mill. Award-winning technology to meet the needs of the health-conscious consumers of tomorrow. I'm here to tell you about our fantastic innovation that we believe that will become a game changer for people who will drink different in the future. A fundamental change is taking place. Every second consumer says, I will be drinking less. Alcohol strength in standard drinks like whiskey, wine, or cognac is still heavily regulated by law and the industry. Why is ABV, meaning alcohol by volume, still dictated to us? Consumer expectations have completely changed over the last 250 years. We don't need proof of ABV anymore, like burning whiskey with gunpowder. We today want to enjoy our favorite drinks at the alcohol level of our choice. It's time to drink different. And here is the solution. Let me introduce Winemill, the World Beverage Innovation Award winner, beating 279 entries from 25 countries. The world's first wine and spirit alcohol level optimizer. Winemill turns any still alcohol beverage into a full flavor, lower alcohol, and lower calorie version literally in minutes. We call it optimized ethanol reduction. It preserves taste and enhances drinkability. Now you can truly say, have your cake and eat it. We have developed in a 8-year-long R&D process, starting with research at Aalto University and ranging to tens of tastings with professionals and pilots in restaurants, a completely new technology with multiple international patents. Soon in a restaurant near you, the waiter will ask, "Sir, would you like to have your whiskey milled?" Oh, but it's great to moderate. People have started to drink differently. Half of us drinks less than before. But at the same time, it's good to remember that 7 out of 10 actually still loves their Chardonnay. A total addressable market is an astonishing 5.4 trillion euros. And it's good. Okay, now let's see how this potential could be transformed into a great business. It's good to remember that alcohol actually accommodates for 60 to 80% of the restaurant and hospitality industry revenue. Our business-to-business model is based on recurring subscription, meaning a monthly lease. From only 10 euros a day, we offer desktop-sized wine mill units, ideal for bars, restaurants, and cruise ships, compatible with all brands, with no additional stock required, and a fast operation of 1 portion per minute. We have a dedicated team of 10 persons, all of them experts in their own field. Our mission is pioneering healthier drinking through innovation. We offer a range of options to collaborate, and we welcome you to join Winemill, to build the trends of tomorrow together with us. Thank you. And after a short while, there will be an after party and some mingling. Milling, of course. Welcome to have a taste with us, and thank you for this time.
Thank you, Sami. And this will take place right here where you actually can see the machine working. Yeah, some questions. Yeah.
Oh, questions.
Yeah.
Yes. Is the mic on? Yeah. Question. I was just wondering if an existing brand owner, you use the Chardonnay as an example, will they actually allow you to do anything to that product before it goes into my wine glass, or similar with a provider of whiskey? Wouldn't they rather reduce or introduce new brands that are lower in alcohol as a separate business unit?
Well, in fact, by definition today, wine, whiskey, for example, which you mentioned, it's not possible for the brand owners to produce them in any other alcohol standard than what is set by law and the regulations regarding that. But when you purchase the product, you are free to alter it afterwards. But the producers are not being able to produce it.
This machine, where are you producing this machine? Are you producing in
La Macchina? These ones we have produced in our own facilities. We have now around 25 units, and these are MVP level units at the moment.
Okay. I don't know that I'm just afraid if you come to Norway, then my glass of Chardonnay is going to cost even twice more expensive because they have to pay for the service.
Well, it's possible that it will come with an additional cost, but remember that 50% of the alcohol consumers in Europe and in United States are interested to actually lower their intake. Thank you.
What is the cost of the machine, and what is the cost of usage, and what profit margin will you gain on that compared to?
We are in a pre-launch state at the moment, but our calculations are being made at the $299 per month lease for the hospitality industry. This is a hospitality industry version at the moment. It's possible to produce a more mass-produced version for the consumer market later on, but that means that there is a €10 cost per day for the restaurant, for example.
We have a question from the audience here, actually. Could you please say something about the chemical makeup and processes that the machina works on? And of course, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, so I guess we'll all need to taste afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, the proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is over there. We use a very high vacuum distill, which is miniaturized into the unit. And we combine that with a blending technology. We are not aiming to produce completely alcohol-free products. That is not our aim. Our aim is to produce lower alcohol products, and that is then enabling us to use a blending proprietary, meaning that we can blend in some of the original into the end result.
Okay, one more question. What's the incentives for the bar to sell this? Because they're not selling it. They have a cost for it. So when someone has bought the drink, they don't. It's because the customer's wanting to lower the alcohol. That's the only incentive.
Well, the incentive is that half of the population who actually drink alcohol are interested in lowering their intake.
I understand, but do you have any bars who are willing, who said that they want to have this machine?
The bars are already selling mocktails and lower alcohol products like non-alcoholic versions. Unfortunately, those are not very well received, since non-alcohol versions are the opposite end of alcohol versions. We are in the middle, offering actually a new opportunity, both for the bars, restaurants, and the hospitality industry in general.
But you have no bars who've actually said that they want this machine?
We have bars at the moment who are having trials with the unit, yes.
Okay.
We do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. We're reaching the end of this demo day. We have 2 startups left. Now we're going to move to Kristiansand, south of Norway. And we're going to meet a company called FireMesh. And you can wonder, fire and health, what does that have to do with anything? And this is actually quite interesting. From our mandate's perspective, we look at preventive care, and even saving lives could be looked at as health, although it could be a PropTech case, for example, like in this case. So now we're going to let Tahani tell us about how you automate and simulate fire equipment for sprinkler systems. So please welcome Tahani.
Okay. It's on. Oh, okay, thank you. I have to bare I midten. Okay. FireMesh, scaling building fire safety with IoT. My name is Tahani, CEO in FireMesh. I work in this building. 14th of June, actually, in 2020, this happened. In the same day as today, actually, it was very special. It exploded, and 3 people was injured. 1 was critically, and that was a miracle that nobody died. The the reason for it exploded because it was unchecked and unsaved. We have a sprinkler, as you see here. We have this sprinkler system room in the ground that make sure that it will work when we need it. Since this day, and when we dig to information of what happened, why this explosion, the reason for explosion, there was no data. Actually, there was nothing. And since that day, I passionate to collect the data and help building to make the building safer with controlling automatically. We know the fact that 75% of sprinkler systems never been controlled in Norway, and 3 to 6% will not work in case of fire. So, if the sprinkler system is not checked, there is a high probability that it will not work as it should. It can cause the fire that we cannot stop, or a water damage. And we have one more fact that 25% of the water damage caused by sprinkler system in the buildings. And today the janitor needs to visit each building weekly to perform inspection. And it's required by law. So this is time-consuming, expensive, and unreliable. So we have, and we are changing the game. Our solution is automatic inspection digitally by AI and sensors. We have, our company makes software and hardware, and enable you to always know the status of your building. So, with FireMesh, you can instantly check the status of the building, work smarter, or visit only the building that requires a repair. Our team is experts with a strong background in the fire safety and tech. And we have a board member that's a mix of experience in SaaS and fire protection. We are not alone. We have a close and great partners and a close collaboration with customers that we work daily with. Our market is actually, in relation to the markets, 400 million euro, and we're starting with Nordic, Europe, and moving to the Germany, to Europe, to US. I'm sorry, but and actually today I had a growth company with Innovation Norway that we're going to start in Germany in September. So I'm looking forward to come into the new market. Our competitors, there's two type of companies, that who is doing manually and that who is doing automatically, but they don't own their technology. And business model is SaaS. So we have a fee to install, upgrade the system, and we have annually service cost for 644 euros. Okay, yeah. Our foundation, we have experienced a great development and traction in a new evolved market. We have paying customer today, and we have our goal to reach partners that help us to sell with the channel partner model. And we have working actually for reach 500 buildings this year. And I'm seeking for 310,000 euros to reach the market, and I need your help to make the building safer. I'm looking forward to speak each of you and get your feedback in our idea and solution. Thank you. This is how it looks like today in the basement with sprinkler system, and we want really to make it better.
Thank you very much for an interesting pitch.
Thank you.
One question though. You said 75% of buildings are never checked.
Yes.
And you assume, or somebody assumes, that 3 to 6% of those might not work if they are needed.
Yes.
How do you know that your IoT sensors are actually checking for the problems that will cause them not to work?
Cause them that not work?
Yes. How do you know that FireMesh will ensure that it works?
Oh, okay, because they don't test it weekly. And then if there's any error today, they just like, okay, what's wrong? I go to change some component in there, and they don't have any data to check it. I give them data, that all the logs, and where is the reason, where is the error, and if they have our system, they will get the error 24/7 before we have overvåke, hjälp mig. Monitoring is 24/7. So the data we have is actually very powerful to help them.
Thank you. I have a bit of a technical question for you. How does this relate to, let's say, building management systems that you typically have in place? So the airco and all that stuff. Do you have integrations with building management systems that typically are in these kind of office buildings?
Yes, we have three biggest FTV systems. We have integration with them. If there's any error, we give the system with API, and they have it on the pocket if they wanted to check more details about how the pressure was above and under the sprinkler systems. You're smiling. I'm very nervous. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Yeah, I actually beginning to love to do that, but something wrong with me. I don't know what.
And that's why I'm smiling, because we've all been there, so it's no problem.
Okay,
it's
you.
excellent that you do this.
Yes.
Thank you. My question would be: you said you had paying customers.
Yes.
What will your revenues be in 2024?
If we're reaching to 500 building, it will be 6 million Norwegian kroner.
So with raising 300,000, you will make 6 million.
Yes, but it's very good. But it's and actually it's not just 1 year; it's forever. When you have the systems, nobody going to change it. Actually, it's very, very good. So I hope. Yes. More questions?
Any last questions? No? Fine. Well, I have a new...
ARR?
Yeah.
Yeah, ARR mean...
What?
My ARR, it's 3.4 million Norwegian for 500 big is ARR, our ARR. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Our CTO was very... Thank you.
Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah. After getting to know FireMesh, I see buildings in a very new way, where you just look up and you can see cache in the everywhere around you. Yeah. This could be our cache, you know. So, very cool. Okay, this is the last session before we have some drinks, or water, or more food, or coffee, or what you will want. So we'll go to Sweden again for the last pitch, and we will meet the company who's actually facing and attacking one of the biggest challenges for health problems today, namely loneliness. So let's give a big applause from Andreas at Mood Social from Sweden.
Thank you, Stefan. Hi, everyone. My name is Andreas, and I'm a co-founder of Mood Social. And Mood Social is somewhere here. We are bringing people and experience together. Loneliness has become a big problem all around the world. Between 40 to 60%, roughly, is struggling with some kind of loneliness. And it has starting to be called as a silent epidemic. And of course, loneliness, it leads to isolation, it leads to depression and mental illness in general. But the sad thing is that it's still very stigma. It's a big stigma around loneliness. People doesn't feel comfortable to admit that they are lonely. And but the saddest thing when it comes to this figure is that the group that is increasing the most is the younger people, the people between 18 and 25. That's the future of our world. They're going to rule the world, and this is really, really scary. Finally, the governments all over the world have starting to take action on this problem. Both in UK and Japan, they have created 2 new minister posts just focusing on fighting more or less against loneliness. The Swedish government is investing 300 million Swedish kronor in the same problem, same issue. South Korea is handing out money to young people up to $500 a month just to go out and socialize. And it's very nice that government have now been starting to take action. This is I mean, news from this year. But these guys, they were early birds. We saw this coming a couple of years ago. We saw the trend of the loneliness and the issues, and also the problem, what it caused for the society. So we sat down and we asked ourselves, how can we as a company take a part of trying to defend the problem with loneliness? This is an article in a financial site that we got a month ago. So we created Mood Social, and it's a social platform where we bring people and experience together. It's an application. I'm just going to go overview the functionality. It's more or less you create an account, and then you add the different categories and activities that you're interested in to do. And then you are locally based. Where you're locally based, you also see what's upcoming events. And the users can also create own events or take part of events that's already created. And this is free for all the users. It doesn't cost any money at all to sign up and use all the functionality in the app. We're also looking into an AI solution that we are calling Mood Buddy. The difference between us and other social media is that these guys, they are unfocused. Meaning they have a lot of information. So if it comes to creating an event or meetup, it's disappeared with all the trees more or less. We are focusing on one thing. And looking into the market, 2019, the event industry on a global level was worth $1.1 trillion. And expecting to grow to year 2028 by 99%. And as I said, it's free for all the users to get access to all the functionality in the app. But here is where we earn the money on commission. And I'm happy to say that a month ago we landed a partnership with Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster is the largest company in the world when it comes to selling tickets to events. So all the people that we're bringing to Ticketmaster, they pay us commission. Isn't that good? Great. So we are looking for, we're seeking 2.5 Swedish million kronor to scale up our business. And when I say we, it's the core team. It's our CTO Rashtan and our CEO Matar. And I mean, if any of you in here want to join us to solve this big problem that we see, it's ongoing and it's developing in the wrong direction. Jump on board. Welcome to Mood Social. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Questions?
either you didn't understand anything of what I said, or it was, I mean, clear as, or you're tired.
This sounds very much like a traditional platform for promoting events. What in the platform will make the lonely people actually go to the platform, find an event, buy a ticket, and then go to an event if you're lonely and can't be bothered to go out and do anything?
Good question. Of course, we have thought about that, and we have looked into competitors. When it comes to different functionality, what we have in our service, we stick out from our competitors. But the thing is that we need to, I mean, we have done our research. We have been talking to our main target group, which is young people, and say, what if we have this and that? Would you be interesting? And we got an approval rate of 89% that wants to use this, because it's a big problem. I mean, this is for normal people. I mean, we are not going in to solve people that can't leave their homes. We are talking to people that is already active, but they don't know where to go to find new friends. Say if you move to another city, or if you're a student moving to a city, there are people that wants to do things, but they don't know how to reach out.
I actually see what you're trying to, and I see that there is nothing like this right now. Well, at least in Norway for sure, but even in US, it's not. So I think it would be interesting to see how you would make people to discover you and upload your product, and actually also use your partners' offers and the people who advertise with you. So that would be a challenge, but I think you're on the right path, because you're absolutely right that even young people are very, very lonely, and that is why gaming is such a big thing, that they find people all over the world to team up and play that one game that they're passionate about. So I think this is very good.
And of course, I mean, it's an important point that you're making, but for all unknown brands, you need to go out there, communicate what you offer, what's your USP. So, and that's why we need money and we are actually hiring a new person at the moment, an head of operations, that also can do a lot of work to go out there. And I mean, we are focusing now in two different universities in Stockholm and in Karlstad, and we need to do a lot of working with persons, and we are contacting head of student associations, which they have been shown really high interest in.
Probably universities would be good to offer to that type of.
Yes, because I mean they are working a lot. Yeah, every year every autumn when it starts, they are working a lot of bringing people together. But then after 2 weeks, they leave them more or less, and they don't have any tool to use to make people to meet again, more or less. So there is where we can give them the tool.
Okay. Last question. I think the microphones are already getting tired. That's what we are. But I'll try. The competitors that you had was quite known brands.
Yeah.
Meetup, Instagram, so on. How much money do you think you need in total to actually make this brand go global?
For how long period are you talking? Are we saying 5 years or something?
Well, a little bit further than the first 3 million.
Yeah. If we look into, by the year 2028, we say we will have 8 million users, and with a revenue of 250 million Swedish kronor. Of course, there is an Excel document that is based on this. So, but this is what we project.
And what I mean is, do you only need 2.5 million to reach 240 million?
No, that's based on an 18 months runaway.
So what do you mean? What do you need between those 2.5 and reaching 240?
We will raise in the second round. We will raise around 15 million Swedish kroner. And the third round we haven't decided yet, actually. So let's say that, I mean, before the end of 18 months, we will raise our second round.
But your market is only Scandinavian market?
No, of course not. We will go global, because we want to reach here. We want to be a part of this. I mean, the problem is global, so it doesn't matter where we are. As I said, South Korea, they already given up money from the government, $500 per month to go out socialize. Yeah, definitely, and it'll be easy sell.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks for good questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Well done. So that concludes our pitching sessions. And it's getting hot in here. And I think a lot of us want to move over to the corner to Amanda when she's serving up cold beer and some wine pretty soon. Before we do that, we can have a photo session and a small ceremony for our startups. And I want to also thank all of you in the panel. I think it's been great to have you here, and you had some really good questions. So thank you very much for that. Also have an announcement in regards to the balcony here. You're welcome to go out and have a look at the beautiful view of Oslo, but we're not allowed to bring in alcohol or smoke or anything like that out there. So keep that in mind later on at night. So with that, I can hand it over to you, Stefan, and what are we going to do now?
Yeah, we're going to introduce each of the startup team from the Cohort 5, the 7 of these companies that you met today, and they will be graduated from the DigitalWell Ventures Spring Edition Cohort 5 2023. So first company up is Northern Light Diagnostics, and Jan and Stefan, both of you, come up on stage. Yeah. There you are. Yeah.
Tack så bra, gutter.
Yeah.
Gratulerer.
Kjempegøy.
Grattis.
Stand over here. Yeah. And a warm welcome to me, we, and you. Yeah. Helena and Johan, welcome on stage. Yeah. Applause. Woo. There you are. Congrats.
Bra jobbat, Johan.
Yeah.
Bra jobbat.
Congrats. Okay, so here. And next up is Easy Care. Yeah, Reiner and Trine. Yeah, come up on stage. And Easy Care, yeah. And the next one is, yeah, there you are.
Well done.
Well done. And Voice Diagnostics, Louise, welcome. Woo. Hey. Congrats. And Epnia, yeah. Andreas and Øystein, yeah, welcome. There you are, thank you. Ja, tack så mycket. Och Wine Mill, yeah, Sami and Richard, yeah. Milling already in the corner.
Take your diploma, please.
Yeah,
Well done.
there you are, yeah. Woo! Yay! And Salamine, yeah, welcome. And you, yeah, someone, yeah. Yeah. So great work, great.
Brian.
Really good. So yeah, come on. Alina, come on. Yeah, come on. Ja, jo. Kan vi klämma upp oss här? Ja. Är Stefan här då?
Vilken fråga ska vi titta på?
Aline, kom. Nu kommer jag med, kom. Ja. All right. Får du med allihop? Ja, det är klart det ska vara. Och ja, Aline. Kom igen, lite gladare. Ja. Woohoo!